Welcome guys. So in this particular video, this is the second part of our WebRTC. So let's create our Flutter project. So let me just go to a terminal and we are going to create our new project, and the name of that project would be, let's say, Socket Flutter. Let's say this. So Flutter create Socket Flutter. Let's say this is our new project name. So I'm gonna do like this, socket and Flutter. That's it. Very good. Now there are certain packages which we are going to need for development of this particular video, of this particular project of the video. First of all, what are the packages which you are going to need? We are going to need Flutter WebRTC package, Flutter WebRTC. Yes, not the wrapper, Flutter WebRTC. Second one we are going to need is speech to text, basically speech to text, and we are going to need a HTTP, and we are going to need one more last package called socket IO client. Yep, those are the 3 to 4 packages which we are going to need for making this project successful. So in the lib main.dot we are going to have let's start coding our basic framework. In this is going to be a very small video where we will basically create the screens. We are going to connect to the backend, and let's see if our backend gonna work or not. That's it. Apart from that, the main core of the video, which would be in the third part, where we will basically write all the majority of the code, and also basically see how it is going to work in the live situations, where one-to-one conversation going to happen, like chats you can do, share your screen, and multiple other stuff you can do in the last video, which is going to be the next video. So in the main.dot we are going to basically remove all the boilerplate code, and we are going to navigate it to the app. So it would be app.dot. Like it's a good feature that we are navigating our code to the different files. It's good. It's a good approach. So here we'll have a class called my app, which will extend our status visit. I think this should be enough. And filter material. Yes, that's it. It should be const my app super const. Perfect. Now in the main.dot we are going to just import this thing. Yes. Okay, in the main.dot what we are going to do, we are going to basically navigate to the meeting screen, but let's do one thing. Let's create our screens first. We are going to create a file name. We are not going to write proper code in those files. First of all, we will create our supporters classes, you can say, or let's say support code, which is going to be needed for the development of this particular thing. So we will have something called meeting screen. Okay, here is one more disclaimer which I would like to give, is that we are like, I am not going to follow any architecture for the development of this thing. It's all up to you that how complex you wanted it to build, or how what are the architecture, what are the state management you would like to use. For this I'm using bare minimum state management, like set state and end state, but it's all up to you how you wanted to utilize those things. Like, it's just a boilerplate code. You can always optimize, always improve the code. It's all up to you how you would like to improve the code. And do let me know, let's say, if you found something which is very interesting, and on the comment section, so that other other members, or you can say other developers, might get more interesting thing. They might share that as well in the comment section. So let's create our meeting screen. In the meeting screen we'll have something called stateful widget meeting screen, and to fix this app.dot we are going to navigate to the meeting screen, basically. Yep. Before going to the meeting screen, what we are going to do, we are going to create something called extensions, HTTP extension. We are going to create models, and we are going to create some services for us. So let's start with the models thing, because we are going to send transcript, we are going to send some API responses as well. So in first models, in the models we will first create something called API response, like how like what should be the structure of the response which we are going to get from the API. So we will have something called class API response, I think so. We'll first say if it is successful or not, bool success, yes. Let's say if there is message which we are facing, let's say we got a message and any data, final dynamic data, final string. Let's say if we got an error, string, yes, and status as well, final string, I think so, status, yep. And I think so, yes, that's it. And we are going to create from JSON into JSON method as well. So factory, I think that should do this job. Let me just verify. App, we have the map string JSON, and API is the it will return an API response. Okay, it should return something like this: API response is equals to API response. We are going to return an API response, but there would be some modification which we are going to do in this API response. In the success, let's say because it is a boolean value, so what we are going to do, we are going to parse this. So bool try parse, source would be our JSON success dot to string, else if it is true, it will have a success. If it is not, we are going to return false. Same goes with message, because we are going to need a string. Data is good, status, and yep, that's it. And let's say if we got the null values or something, if okay, API response is not equal to null, or API response dot success, means they are we got the data but it is null or something, and we are going to just throw a exception, throw exception. What we are going to throw is an exception. It should be like this: API response dot error, and API response, I think there should be a message, or you can say an error occurred or something like that. Yep. So that's it for the API response, and we are returning that. Okay, perfect. Now apart from that, we are going to create a transcript model as well. So I'm gonna name it transcript chunk. Let's say this chunk. You can also name it model as well, transcript model or something. Here we'll have a transcript chunk. What it will have? It will have a call ID. It will have a speaker ID, final string speaker ID. It will have a speaker role as well, speaker role. Apart from that, it will have a timestamp of start, timestamp end, content, and sequence as well. Final date, okay, not the state, date, time stamp, start, final timestamp end, very good, and a string, final string, content, because what are the things that are being spoken, and also an sequence. Perfect. Those are the things that we are going to require. Come on, Copilot, help me. Yes, perfect. Now we are going to create something called from JSON into JSON, because we are going to fetch the data, we are also going to send the data. Perfect. And yep, very good. Let me just basically see if it is writing good. Okay, the thing is that call ID, it is given, it should be like this, call ID, not like that. And speaker ID should be speaker ID, speaker role, SPA role, something like this. Make sure that those are the time case sensitive, so make sure it is good. And timestamp start and end, very good. Same goes like this. Thank you Copilot for the help. Let me just check it again, because we do not want it to be wrong whenever we are testing those things. So I think those are perfect. Timestamp start, timestamp and perfect. We are datetime parsing, and yeah, those are we are done with the models things. So model is done. Now let's go to the services. Services. In the services, we are going to have a 3 file called API URL, signaling server and transcript service, because we want that our application should connect with the backend. Now before jumping to the what you can say the service file, we are going to create a global file, because let me create a global file. Why we are creating a global file is that in the global file we are going to put our API URL. So it should be like this: string common tunnel URL. Why I am writing a common tunnel URL is that because our backend, what we are going to build is basically we are going to port forward that particular backend, and we are going to use that port in the common dev tunnel. So it should be like this, called https / basically some numbers, or you can say some characters, and our port which we are going to forward are basically what are the port we are using in the backend, called incl.devtunnels. Let me do one thing. Let me just create this common tunnel, and then we will I'll show you how it is done basically. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me just basically run our backend server and port forward that particular backend. So we have our backend here. Let me just run it. npm run dev. It should run. Perfect. It is running in the 3001 port. I'm going to go port, forward a port 3001. Let it start port forwarding. We'll just wait for it to complete the process. We have completed it. Set the port visibility to public and continue. We are going to copy the local address and we are going to paste it here. Perfect. Yeah, that's what it should be. So we have our common dev tunnel. That's good. That's really very perfect for us. Yes, but we are going to remove this last slash, because we are going to use our endpoint. What was our endpoint? It was slash API slash other thing. So in the services, let's finish our API URL, because let's create our API URL. API URL.dart. So what it will do, it will have a class API URL. What it will do, it will have a static string, I think so, base URL. What would be our base URL? Our base URL will be common dev. Okay, let's import global file first. Import package, I think so, package socket flutter and global dot. Perfect. Common tunnel slash API slash v1. Yep, that's it for this file, because the thing is that, let's say you have another endpoint. The use of this particular file is that, let's say you have another endpoint, let's say something called meeting, let's say some other thing, let's say some other endpoint. So, and because it's for the testing purpose, let's say there are other developers who wanted to use its own tunnels. so they can basically, rather than going to this file and changing it, it's just a very simple thing. Just go to global and you can change it here, because we are using that. So that's one approach. You can basically customize your own approach with whatever you like. So now let's create our most important file, because it is called signaling service. What it will do, it will basically help us to create a socket connection. Like it will init a socket, it will tell us that okay, the socket is connected. It will tell us that there is any error while connecting to the socket, reconnection event as well as, and it will also help us to set up and call event as well, and it will help us to end call and other stuff. It will help us to reject a call. So that particular file which we are going to make right now is very much important, or you can say it is a backbone for our project. So what we are going to do, before let's do one thing. Let me just create all those files which you are going to require, and let me just explain what it is doing, and then I'll explain, then we will get, then I'll explain what are those things they will do. Yeah. Okay, so I have written most of the code of the signaling service and other services as well. So in the signaling service we have I've written the socket. We are going to need an instance of socket. We are going to need current call ID and self caller ID and the base URL as well. So we are having an instance where we will just call an init. Basically what it will have, basically we will create a socket between the WebSocket and the query. We would like to have a self caller ID. Basically reconnection is true. Like there are a bunch of other code. So like we will have a code of, like we have a function of reject call. We can get a call history, and let me tell you that you have to create a functionality of the call history. Like we are not going to have a call history in our current project, but it's up to you. Like I've created a function for the call history, so you have to get the call history of that. So yeah, those are the particular functions which we are going to require. Let's say user want to reject the call, then we will have a socket. It will emit emit with the data with the caller ID, call ID, and reason. Reason would be a reject call, like the call is being rejected. Along with that, let's say the user wanted to end the call, it will have a reason of ended, and where effective call ID would be like the current call ID, all the call ID which we are going to get. If the call ID we get is the effective call ID, would be the call ID. It would be like current call ID. If we do not have anything, then it would be unknown. Then we will just print that okay, we are attempting to end the call socket with, if it is connected with the call ID and the remote ID as well. So in the final end time would be like, let's say we are going to print the end time. Like let's say we wanted to store how much time the call is being connected or something, then it would be necessary, and we will just emit that okay, what is, like the reason would be the end call, caller ID and call ID, as well as the reason would be the end call, like call is being ended, and the current call ID we are going to put it null, because now let's say user wanted to end the call and had another new meeting or something, then it should not have our previous call ID. So we will just put the null here, and apart from that we are setting up a call event listener. We will just have a new call. Basically let's say if a user receive a new call, we will just say that received a new call with the data, whatever data we get, and if the call data we are going to get is the current call ID. If it is not null, then we are going to print that okay, we have received a new call with the call ID basically. So let's say if we got the call, but we do not have a call ID or something, so we'll just print that warning, no call ID received in a new call event, because in the new call, whenever we are going to call someone, then it should have a warning that let's say there might be some there might be some issue, there might be some that okay, some values are getting null. So that's why we are printing a log basically. So let's say if the call ID is null, then we'll just generate a new call ID, and it will have a generated temporary call ID, and we'll just store that. So you can particularly add a function to store the call ID using shared preference or whatever you like to add. So let's say in the socket, so whenever we connect to the socket, we'll just say socket connected. On error, we'll have a connect error, and on reconnect, then it will say that okay, socket is being reconnected after disconnection, and we'll just call this again. I think yep, we will have a new call and we'll just connect the socket. So that's it for basically the core of this thing. Now we'll just create one screen called meeting screen. In the next video we are going to create all the other three screens which are going to require. We are going to create a call history screen, call screen, join screen, and meeting screen. So in the meeting screen, what we are going to do, we are going to have something called, we are going to basically have a, we will just call join screen, as well as we will init our signaling server, so that we can get to know that okay, whatever we have written so far, including the backend and the front end, is working fine or not. So what we are going to do, we'll just have something called like this here. First of all, we'll have a self call ID. There is 2 to 3 different things what you can do. For now, what we are going to do is that we are assigning ourselves our own call ID. So final string self call ID is equals to random I think so, yes, random dot next int, and we are going to give it like 10,000, I guess so, dot to string. Yep. So what we are going to have, we are going to have a random string of self call ID, which will have random value between this range. So we will have in the context, what we are going to do, we'll just call signaling service dot instance dot init. Here what is needed is WebSocket URL. WebSocket URL will be common dev tunnel URL basically, and as well as self call ID. So self call ID basically. So and it will just basically return scaffold basically, and we are going to just print body, and body, let's say text right now. We are going to say that okay, join screen would show here. Okay, so we have our meeting screen basically. Here it will have a scaffold called join screen would show here, and here now let's do one thing. Let's just run our code. It should be working with the backend, like in the terminal it should be printing our signaling service, like whatever ID which we are going to get. And let's do one thing, let's print our self call ID. Yep. And yeah, that's let's run it in the Chrome. Flutter run -d Chrome. If everything what we have done so far is successful, it means that if the call ID which we get, it's good, and the call ID which we are going to write here, if it is match, okay, we got that user with this ID is connected. Now let's see if we get that. Okay, if you see here, let me just zoom real quick, that we got a join screen would show here with call ID. So yeah, that's good. It means that we have successfully connected our front end with our back end using sockets. That's really amazing. Let's and in our Flutter code we are seeing it's good, like it's really amazing that our user is being connected. Now if I close this thing, it should be showing that the user is disconnected. Perfect. Now what we are going to do, we in the next video we are going to complete this entire UI thing, as well as we are going to basically I'll show you how you can share your screen, as well as share the transcript and multiple other things. So that's it for this video. We have created our whole structure of the code, like what we are going to require. And in the next final video we are going to end this thing. And yeah, that's it for this video. And let's say if you are facing any issue so far, do let me in the comment section. Okay, this is the part where I am facing issue. Just for you want me to help you, so just go to the LinkedIn and connect with me and message me. I'll make sure that I'll reply as soon as possible. So yeah, that's it for this video. Keep learning, keep exploring, and do let me in the comment section if you found any issue so far, and not just this video, my previous video or any other video which you might be seeing. So yeah, bye.